So think about this. 3 years, 3 champions, Roma, West Ham, and Olympiacos, right? But behind all those dramatic trophy lifts and the ticker tape, there is a massive, and honestly, highly critical debate that's just kind of tearing European football apart. Welcome to a brand new explainer right here on Sportx Radar. Now, before we jump in, do me a quick favor, hit that subscribe button and like this explainer so we can keep bringing you these no-nonsense, data-driven deep dives into the sports world. Okay, so today we're tackling the absolute biggest question echoing through stadiums across Europe, the UEFA Conference League. Launched back in 2021, it was pitched to us as this, spiritual successor to the nostalgic Cup Winners' Cup, basically setting up a third tier in European football. But here's the real question we have to ask. Is it actually a genuine sporting necessity that gives more clubs a chance at continental glory, or is it merely a corporate cash grab designed to just generate endless broadcast revenue? Let's break down the reality of UEFA's newest tournament.
Okay, let's dive into this. For decades, the hierarchy of European football was, it was incredibly clear. You had the absolute pinnacle, the Champions League, where the absolute elite battled it out. And then you had the grueling, highly competitive Europa League. That was it. So tossing a third tier into the mix fundamentally disrupted that historic structure. Now, proponents of the tournament, they argue this democratizes the sport. For clubs from smaller leagues, this tournament is essentially a vital lifeline to farm UEFA coefficient points. And if you follow the mechanics of European football, you know that growing those national and club coefficients is literally the only way lesser-known leagues can secure better qualification spots down the line. It brings these magical continental nights to smaller cities that historically would never get past the qualifying rounds of the upper-tier competitions. But the critics, they are ruthless. They point to the already massively congested fixture lists and ask a far more cynical question. Are we diluting the prestige of European football here? Winning a third-tier trophy simply doesn't carry the historical weight of the traditional competitions. And that leads a lot of people to wonder if this whole thing is just about filling up the television broadcasting schedule.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it perfectly captures the two warring philosophies at the heart of modern football: romanticism versus industrialization. On one hand, you've got the genuine sporting necessity, right? Clubs from smaller leagues desperately need a pathway to grow. But the corporate machinery tells a very different story, and the financial data reveals the true chasm here. Let's talk numbers for a second. In the Conference League, a group stage win nets a club roughly 500,000 euros, and the ultimate champion walks away with a prize of around 5 million euros. Now, to the elite clubs, that is absolute pocket change. It's a fraction of what just qualifying for the Champions League brings in. However, and this is a big however, for a mid-sized club from, say, Eastern Europe or Scandinavia, that prize money, combined with their share of the television market pool, is completely transformational. We're talking about numbers that can literally double a club's operating budget overnight. Yet, the sheer disparity in those payouts highlights the industrialization of the sport. Every single additional match is just another product to sell to broadcasters, creating this system where the joy of a smaller club's European run is inherently tied to a corporate desire to monetize every possible 90-minute window.
Let's move on and see how this builds, because to truly understand if this tournament is a creation of passion or pure profit, we have to step out of the UEFA boardrooms and look at the actual human cost. We're going to break down the analysis into 3 critical viewpoints: the sports figures, so your managers and analysts, the footballers themselves, and finally the fans. Each of these groups experiences the cold reality of this tournament in completely different, often clashing ways.
So, let's start with the players. Imagine being a player for a mid-table squad qualifying for Europe. It sounds like an absolute dream, right? But the physical reality on the ground is grueling. That Thursday-Sunday schedule is notorious among players and managers. We are talking about teams from England or Italy taking 6-hour flights to Kazakhstan or Azerbaijan for a late Thursday night fixture, only to fly back and immediately face a crucial domestic league match on Sunday. The physical toll is immense. Player welfare is pushed to the absolute limit, leading to an exponentially increased risk of injury and a severe mental drain. And you can see this fatigue actively lowering the tactical game tempo and the overall quality of football on the pitch compared to, say, the Champions League. Prominent managers have repeatedly complained about this relentless schedule. You really have to ask, are these extra matches truly elevating their careers and developing their skills, or are these players just pawns in a much larger, highly profitable broadcast revenue game?
Now, from the perspective of managers, tacticians, and experienced sports writers, this third-tier competition presents a massive analytical dilemma. Does playing lower-tier opposition allow for valuable tactical experimentation? Or is it just a massive distraction from domestic survival? Analytically speaking, the vast disparity in club budgets across the continent completely skews the competitive balance. You literally have massive clubs with deep wage bills facing off against part-time professionals. Modern tacticians are really split on this. Some use it as a fantastic testing ground for young, upcoming talent and a chance to experience the contrasting playing philosophies of Eastern European clubs versus Western European giants. However, traditional sports journalists view this critically. They question if we're artificially inflating the resumes of managers by handing out a third-tier trophy, or if it genuinely instills a winning mentality within a squad. The tactical challenge of navigating these vastly different game tempos is definitely real, but the overarching commercial inception of the tournament, that's just impossible for analysts to ignore.
And this brilliantly illustrates the final piece of the puzzle, the fans. This quote really captures the deep skepticism and critical sentiment of the modern football fan. If you scroll through the fierce debates raging daily on Twitter and Reddit, you will see fans genuinely torn. On one hand, the cultural transformation of smaller cities hosting these massive European fixtures is incredible. There's an undeniable, pure romanticism in the away day. Local supporters traveling across the continent, building a profound sense of belonging and community, and just experiencing the pure emotion of seeing their beloved club on the international stage. It echoes the nostalgic days of older, discontinued cup formats. But look, fans are not blind to the rapid industrialization of their sport. They are highly observant of the massive gap between the traditional, community-driven soul of football and these highly commercialized corporate formats. They're the ones paying for the expensive away trips and the multiple TV subscriptions. And they are rightly demanding to know if this is actually for the love of the game or simply a corporate mechanism to extract more cash.
So we've looked at the broadcaster logic of prioritizing endless matches, the immense physical toll on exhausted players, the tactical dilemmas for managers, and those fierce debates among fans. Looking ahead, my personal prediction for next season is that we're going to see top-tier clubs treating the group stages almost entirely as an academy runout, prioritizing domestic leagues until the semifinals, while UEFA will continue to tweak the format to squeeze out even more broadcast revenue. The tension between the sport's traditional roots and its massive commercial ambitions is truly at a boiling point. So what do you think? Is this a return to the nostalgic days of the Cup Winners' Cup, or just a Thursday night corporate cash grab? Is the UEFA Conference League essential for democratizing the game, or just another highly efficient cog in the modern revenue machine? I want to hear from you. Drop your critical thoughts in the comments below. And hey, if you want more no-nonsense, data-driven football explainers, hit subscribe, like this explainer, and keep it locked right here on Sportx Radar. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive, and I will see you in the next explainer.